Hey, welcome back to another Jedi Academy. I'm Ranger J1999, your host. Glad to have everybody here. Welcome into another edition of the Jedi Academy, the Q&A show where we answer all your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes questions. If you're wondering how this works, well, it's pretty simple. If you have a question, all you need to do is put the question into chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement. We'll scoop that up, and we've compiled an awesome panel of people to answer your questions. That's what this is all about. So we bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers and game chambers, and we sprinkle in a little bit of RSG madness, and there you go. That's how the show works. And then, before I introduce everybody, let's get through the mechanisms. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on our video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. That way you can get all the notifications when we're doing stuff like this. We do a lot of live streaming. And if you want to know when we're doing it, that's the best way to find out. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We got the Jedi Academy, and tonight we've got the lovely Ladies of the Angels that we're going to be doing a stream on Operation Metaverse's channel. We've been pimping that all week, and that's going to be tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on their channel, and that'll be hosted by them, and it'll be all the lovely ladies of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes answering your questions and having fun and giving you all kinds of information, so please sure to check that out. And they are kind enough to be doing this for our ACS campaign, which is our American Cancer Society charity that we are raising money for. We are going to be doing the half marathon in April, just 2 months from now, and we are basically doing what we can. We're halfway there. They're going to try to be raising more money tonight, so please attend, please contribute. We really do appreciate everybody's support. All right, that being said, let's introduce who we have in the channel. As of right now, people are running a little behind, things of that nature, but that's okay. Let's get some introductions out of the way. Of course, joining me, who's going to be scooping up and doing the questions, is, of course, Dr. Fin, Medicine Woman.
I'm here to negate the smart panel.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that's what we got. We have to dumb it down, Finn. That's what we're here for.
That's right. I bring balance to the stream.
That's right. We bring a lot of balance, Finn, to this damn stream. Also joining us all the way up from the frozen tundras of Canada is the maple syrup lover herself, Miss T Money G.
Good morning. It's freezing up here.
Is it? It's nice and warm down here. It was 77 degrees yesterday.
It has gotten to -40, which is where Canada and America meet in unanimous, like, screw this, -40 Celsius / Fahrenheit.
Listen, T-Man, nobody said you had to live in Canada. You could be in Los Angeles right now living the dream. Think 80 degrees every day. Maybe. Good morning. How's it going? It's going good. I hope you've got your coffee. You've got your maple syrup. Check. Okay, good. Also joining us, this person needs no introduction. She is the master of the light side of the Force and my eternal enemy. Jedi Master Dasher is here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And yeah, I am not going to complain about the cold over here because -40 is disgusting.
Yeah. I'm sitting here in hot Atlanta going, you poor bastards. But I don't feel that bad. Because I've had to live up there, and I can say that, once you have the snot freezing your nose a couple times, you're like, yep, I'm done. I don't want to stay here the rest of my life. Ever, never.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be fun to visit, though.
Sure.
Because of snow and other things. But I wouldn't want to live in the snow.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. No, I mean, snow
Neither
is
am I,
fun. Skiing's fun. All that other stuff's fun. But then it's like, then the snot freezes in your nose.
Yeah. You don't want to be an Eskimo?
No, I don't. Finn, do you want to be an Eskimo?
Kinda.
No, you don't. You're lying your butt off, Mr. Floridian.
Hey, all I know is that Coke commercials tell me all the time that Eskimos become friends with polar bears and they can share a Coke.
No, that's not really how it works, Finn. They usually get eaten by the polar bear.
That's not what the commercials tell me.
Well, I mean, do you believe everything you see on TV?
Kinda.
No, God. Okay, Finn, you're on it. Here's some crayons. Go sit in the corner again. Ugh. This is what I'm talking about. All right. Go ahead and get your questions in. Dr. Finn is scooping them up. Welcome everybody in the chat. Good morning or afternoon or wherever you might be. Glad to see you all here. Let's get this show started. The questions are coming in. Finn's scooping them up. I'll have them start firing away here in a few minutes. But let's see what's been going on this week in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We have the territory battles, light side. That's what it is. We had the big introduction of the droids. We had the rework of B2 and the introduction of the B1. B2 rework, B1 introduction. Ladies, is there anything you'd like to mention about that piqued your interest or made you go, no, I don't like it?
Yeah, you know me, I'm a big fan of droids, right?
I know. When I think of Jedi Master Dastra, the first thing I think of is lightsabers. And then the second thing I think about is droids. Because if there were no droids, what would you cut with your lightsaber besides Finn and Porgs? I mean, there's...
No, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the next droids are, because the B2, I didn't expect they would get much of a rework because he's already very effective. Mm-hmm. So that one, it was kind of as expected, just small changes here and there. The B1, that will allow quite a few interesting combinations, like not just for droid squads, but I can see him showing up in some pretty random combinations, honestly. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much another zombie in a way.
Yeah, it was an interesting kit. It really was. I don't know how it's going to work out, you know how effective it's going to be, but I do give CG credit. It is a very creative way of what they came up with. And, it was different. It was unique. I liked it, just for that purpose, that it's totally different than anything they've really done, with some of the skills and uniques and all that other stuff. I was like, okay, that's a different way of approaching it and doing things. So I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it really shows, because, like, a lot of these kits are just so insane that it's like you keep wondering.
Or they're cookie cutter.
Out with new stuff. Like, what are they going to do? What's next? So, like, things like that, it's kind of fun to see some variance in the OP-ness of some of the kits. And it'll be interesting to see how Grievous's rework ends up. And then the Droid Decause kit. So, we'll see some pretty crazy droid squads, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we are. We got some more reworks coming. The droidic Grievous is going to get reworked, and we want to see that. T-Money, any thoughts you want to throw out there to the fans?
I mean, the most exciting part of this is whether Jedi Master Adastra is going to gear up the known Jedi killer, General Grievous. So that's what I'm waiting for to see how that's all going to play out, because it's been really quite adorable. She's like,
well, someone put out a good, well, not really a good point, but it's still depressing that he didn't really kill any masters per se. He took down the wimpier.
No, he took out some masters. Yeah, I have to tell you this.
General Grievous thinned out the herd. I see.
He took out a couple of them. I'm sorry, Jedi.
But I mean, if I geared up freaking Sith,
comic books,
it's inevitable. I'm gonna gear up this General Grievous if he has a good kit, which I'm sure he will.
Do it in honor of the Jedi that he had slain. It is only fitting. He is wielding their lightsabers. You do it in their honor.
Yeah. For me, the droids are really, it's kind of it's like a strategic moment for my roster right now. I'm waiting until Droidica comes out, until Grievous comes out, just to see what their place is in like for me, for my guild and territory wars and such, to see if I'm going to be gearing these guys. I've got some gear saved up. It's kind of strange. I have like a ton of some gear and none of others, so we'll see how that goes for me. But they're very, very intensive with regards to resources. 750 Carbantes for
that all? Okay.
Just the three.
Yeah.
For Magna Guard, B2, and Grievous. So who knows about Droidica and B1? Oh, we know about B1 now, but who knows about Droidica? And so if they're really essential for Grand Arena and Territory Wars, then you know me, I'll probably dive right in. But I'm also just very conscious that there's other stuff coming.
Yeah, see, we've been telling everybody just
yeah, that would be the good thing too. At least like these different droid kits, you can kind of mix and match with the droids we already have too. I'm sure, you know, like it wouldn't have to be all the same droid comp. I'm sure people will come up with some pretty cool stuff with what droids we do have, and even some separatists, because separatists do kind of, well, not as well, but they're getting some synergy too.
We would hope, although we do see a very similar Jedi squad in Arena right now. I think
what do you mean?
I think that maybe CG has to just kind of be like, this is what they're doing. Because it's just so complicated. There's so many characters to kind of to control the game. So there's not some, you know, how we break the game all the time. Just to control that, they have to be like, these are the 5 OP characters that are going together with this squad. But I hope that's not the case. I hope it's I hope the meta doesn't settle, but it always seems to.
Well, we'll see. And I'm telling folks to keep hoarding, because even with the droid stuff, it's like, don't just go all in on Disney. I'm pretty sure we're going to get another something coming up right afterwards. I'm not falling for this. I'm not falling for this tricks again, ladies. They got me last time with Chewie and Revan. I'm not going for it.
Yeah, they've pulled this stunt multiple times. And it's, right. You know, it's also with the ships. You know, there's going to be more coming with the ships, too. So it's just, they want us to use up all our resources right now.
Not done that. I refuse. I'm not doing it. Like, no.
I see them sitting in, like, large chairs going, we'll see about that.
I thought you were going to do your pirate voice, like, Arr! You're not going to get old Captain T-Money again. All right. Finn, I'm sure we got some questions in already for these lovely ladies. Let us begin. Finn, if you could please, sir, let's start with T-Money, a question if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, just a reminder, I'm going to be leaving, so I don't know if you want to start reading the questions at some point. But, okay.
Yeah, well, what time you said you were leaving?
11:30, towards the end.
Well, yeah, toward the end I'll take over, but, you know, just keep track and everything, and then I'll take over from there.
For those of you that don't know, I'm getting ready to head on vacation, so Jedi Academy is my prelude into my vacation. So it is going to be a good day. Yeah. Okay, first question for Team Money. Question from A. Zingy. Should I add more offense to Bastila at the cost of some speed?
Oh, I'm gonna pass to Jedi Master Dastra for that, because I am selfish that I love to come on here and learn too. So she's
I was curious to see what you would have said.
Well, for Dark Side,
she just doesn't want to be graded.
Light side Bastila, for me, you know, and I don't have an infinite resource of mods. So for me, for my Bastila, she just needs to be fast and healthy. You know, that's when a Bastila hits me and it hurts, I'm like, oh, respect, you know, because she can. But for me, it's really about her being as tanky as possible and as fast as possible. I mean, I don't know how you guys play it, but she's the last one I kill pretty much every time. She's not that much of a threat on her own, but she's just that enabler for the rest of the team with her you know, with all of the passive stuff she's got going on in that great big huge line of buffs for Grandmaster Yoda. So just speed for her, and I've been feeding her the turn meter for the team too a lot in raids and stuff from Revan. Jedi Master Dastra, what do you think?
Is she right?
Is she right?
Let's find out.
Because I've ran her with various setups. The very first one I did do an offense set because I wanted to capitalize on that damage output. Yeah, she's not known for the damage, but she can actually dish out some good hits. You know, and her basic gets that bonus, you know, the 20% more damage. So it's like, yeah, you know, but it is more important for the speed. You want her fast so she can continuously get those buffs going. You know, the legendary battle meditation also, as well as the buff mule for Grandmaster Yoda. So speed is the most important thing. Like if you can have a fast offense set, that would be pretty good. But if your offense set is really slow, I wouldn't recommend it. And then you have choices for that second set. You know, like you can do a potency set or a health set to help make her beefy too. It kind of depends on what gear level you have her at to ensure she will survive, because you want some decent health protection there if you can manage it. So it's kind of use what you got. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next question, Dr. Finn, if you would, for JMA.
Okay. So from his Jedi Master Adastra, a question for you from Apropos. He said, I hear you say speed arrow for General Kenobi and not crit avoidance. Why? And what do others think?
Because of testing, I found the crit avoidance arrow to be pretty lacking for Kenobi. Unfortunately, that really only helps a limited number of characters to make it worthwhile. And for Kenobi, I found either a protection arrow or a speed arrow was more beneficial. I kind of lean towards the speed, assuming you still have some good protection on him. I lean towards the speed because I like him to get his spam attack out there early on, because that can potentially one-shot a character when you summon all your Jedi like that. And then you can get the retribution up potentially. The only downside of if you make him too fast, the taunt won't last very long. So it kind of depends on what you want him there for. If you want him there to be more of a statue, then do a protection arrow, and you can have him a little slower so that taunt will last longer each time. Or again, the speed route if you want to just have at it and murder stuff ASAP. So it's kind of depends on your playstyle. Again, though, crit avoidance arrow, very disappointed when I did some testing with it. I mean, if you want to test it out and give it a whirl in your arena, go for it. But I've just found it very lacking.
Yeah, me and Finn are on the speed arrow kick, and we have been for a long time. All right, next question for Miss Canadian Universe, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. So I'm going to say it wrong again. From Joao Calvin Conti, and question for T-Money. The new Emperor Shuttle doesn't seem very promising, but in all the testing, everyone uses the same comp and don't try different and weird comps. Doesn't everyone have their test accounts back? And are you able to test on there? What are your impressions on the ship after testing? I don't expect to win against Rebels, but I didn't expect it to be this bad.
Well, I think there's a ton of potential with the Sith ships. I think that the Emperor's shuttle is, I think I already used this word, but it's more of an enabler. It's like it's a passive ship that sits there and does things like critical damage down. Oh, wouldn't you like that when you're facing the Rebels? Certainly. Concussion bombs. On the test accounts, when we had them, we have different types of test accounts now where we have to, basically they've given us everything and we have to start from scratch, which I don't know if you can fathom how many hours that is in your head, but it's like, I think it's going to be well over 100, possibly hundreds of hours to like farm all of the mods and gear all of the characters. So that's just happening kind of slowly for us because both good old Maurice and I have pretty decent accounts to test things, and also lots of great friends and people who can ask, like Jedi Master Adastra, who have everything properly geared and modded in certain factions. Anyway, when we tested back in the test accounts with the bomber, that is an incredible ship. Those concussion bombs can knock out the bloody hound's tooth. Like, it is a really, really, really good ship, and we saw that back then as a counter to the Mace meta. We took it in against Mace, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. Or it was so easy. It was just like, one of those teams where you're like, this is so overpowered. It's so overpowered because you just win the first time and it's so easy. Like, that's what it was like. I don't think a lot of people have it geared, and I don't think that a lot of people are are using the, I mean, I don't know, comp that we used was pretty simple, but I think it has a ton of potential. Maybe not in arena. The ships are squishy, and I don't think it would be a great defensive team, but for offense, yeah, personally, I think that it's going to be, I think it's going, don't gear them yet. Let the whales do that for us, please. But I think it's going to be a great Territory Wars option on offense to allow us to start putting the Millennium Falcon on defense. That's my feeling.
All right. Dr. Finn, next question for not a Sith Adastra.
All right, let's give her a Jedi question. So the question is from What Else 73, and he asks, Revan is currently 78% of the meta report right now. Do you think he will pass 80%? 85%? How far do you think Revan is going to go?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just all the new Revans that came out, and there's still some people that haven't switched to him yet because they're lacking the gear or the Zetas. Although I have seen some people in my arena just throw in a Gear 7 Revan, like, I got him, guys. I'm good. So, I honestly think it'll easily pass 80% once some of the more conservative people get their Revan Jedi ready. Because some people may have Revan now, but they don't have the supporting Jedi to go with him. So I think there'll be a bit of a delay for a few more people to throw him in there.
All right. Next question for the ketchup chip eater herself, T-Money.
All right, question from Fat Tony 99. What's the priority for gear on the Sith trio? I'm at the point where they all need stun guns, droid collars, and wondering who to put that stuff on. I use them in Grand Arena and Territory War and plan on using them as a Revan counter.
Yeah, so I think that, as with a lot of teams, the most demanding gear is your tank and the most important. So I would say Sion is going to be your priority there to get to gear 11. And then after that, Darth Nihilus. Then Traya, her leadership is so amazing. You not against Revan, but against a lot of teams, you can climb with her at gear 9. And, against teams like, you probably have to have another tank in there, like Sith Trooper, which is another hard gear, but he's really essential for that team. And a good tank, he's a pre-taunter. You can get him to, 120 K health and protection, definitely over 100,000 quite easily once he's at gear 12. And so I would say Sion, then Sion to 11, Nihilus to 11, while Traya is at gear 9, and then you're going Sion to gear 12, probably Traya to gear 11, Nihilus to gear 12, and then Traya to gear 12. So she's kind of the last one there. You're gonna need her to gear 11, and with some of the pieces on, I think she's got a couple of health pieces, like one of the MK4 with the cuffs and the little mouse dealie. I think she's got a couple of those that give some health at gear 11, and then and then if you're going to kill Revan with them, right? So you have to have those guys. Nice thing about that is that you can also put in Darkside Bastila at very low gear, gear 7. Just put a little bit of nothing on her. You just want her to live, and while Trey gets marked for that first time, and you can. I've seen people at 5 stars, but definitely at 6 stars beat Revan with Trey and the Triumvirate.
All right.
Triumvirate.
Next question to I wear my Jedi robes even at work, Adastra.
I love it.
Is that true?
I'm kind of afraid to ask if that's true or not at this point.
It'd be so cool.
Okay, so we have one question to go around the corn. So let's go around the corn here. Questions from Billy Gunn. How is the Emperor Palpatine farm going? I was able to unlock first day, 3 days of 3 times refreshes plus the 600 pack.
The shuttle, you mean?
Let's go. Where is your Emperor Palpatine shuttle right now, shard-wise?
I'm trying to look mine up.
I'm 74 out of 80. Let's see here. Let's see what we get. I've gotten such great. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so T-Money
24 out of 65.
Okay, so Adastra already has it unlocked. T-Money is 74 out of 80. So she's almost unlocked. I'm 12 out of 80. I'm not really making a push on it. Ranger,
Okay.
where are you?
21 out
Yeah,
of 80.
I'm not. I didn't care. I'm not using crystals.
Clearly.
Yeah.
If fleet energy was contributing to the 600, I would have done this instantly. I am not wasting crystals for something not associated with 600 when I think something is coming at the end of the month. I'm not wasting crystals like that anymore.
Well, what's coming at the end of the month might be a Sith capital ship, though.
And that's fine.
Then we'll
I don't
spend
care.
crystals. Yeah.
Well, it also depends on like what the rest of your fleet looks like. Like, would you even be able to have a supporting fleet with it?
No, I definitely wouldn't. Be.
I'm also not concerned about anything on spending crystals unless it's a 7-star unlock now. That's all I'm saving for.
I see. Yeah, I'm gonna get I'm shooting for a 5-star, and if anything past that is just bonus. But I think I'm on track for a 5-star if the shard drop continues to be friendly-ish.
And Ranger, where are you?
I'm 21 out of 80.
Okay. And how about you, Ramon?
Hey, what's going on? I'm actually at 37 out of 80 right now. I'm just going for the unlock, really.
All right.
There we go. And everyone say hi to Ramona's.
Look, he's here.
Hi.
You better brought coffee for everyone showing up late, Mr. Man.
Coffee and donuts, right?
Yeah, that's right. A pastry.
We're redoing my son's room, so I'm in the midst of doing some construction.
Oh, that old chestnut, not an excuse.
Don't let them shame you, Ramon. Don't let them do it. You can sleep in. I'm just protecting my own reputation.
And now more life lessons from T-Money G.
All right. So let's get to the next question for Miss Adastra.
Yes.
And this is from John Davies. And the question is, what strategy do I need to do to get my Revan to 300 speed? And I'm assuming that they don't have the money.
Other than the obvious of putting in, speed set and secondaries, if you're having trouble with that, Hermit Yoda is a different Jedi combination because you don't have to be the faster one to win. Sure, it can be easier sometimes, but it doesn't mean you automatically lose if you're the second one to move, because you're going to be smarter than the AI, for instance. But you can also run a more offensive setup, like some people like Ezra. I love running Ezra in there just because that extra power and another damage dealer, so you're not only relying on Yoda and Revan to do the damage output. And again, Hermit Yoda is more offensive too. And I was trying to think. I'd have to see your roster to give you more recommendations, but that's kind of like a general one there, that you can forego a tank and just go all out offense, and then you would overwhelm the opponent even though they would move first. Otherwise, a fast Hermit Yoda for that reason. And yeah, so that's a couple options there.
All right.
And just keep farming those mods and on the side.
All right, let's get a question here for my Ramona. Finn, what do you got for him?
All right, so question from Opera Pro Wooen, and I don't think we got this from Ramon yet, so it's kind of a perfect question for him. What is the best way to play a mirror match with the Revans? Should I drop Bastila for Chewie, or is there something else I can do?
Well, you can drop Bastila for Chewie because you can just kind of steal the buffs with Yoda, and you kind of get the same effect even if you don't have Basti. But no, I still think having Bastila is better, to be honest with you. Because you can't revive Chewie with Jolie, and really, I mean, obviously the best way to win a mirror match is to be faster. But besides the obvious, I think that it comes down to kill order. You want to make sure that you eliminate Revan and then you eliminate Jolie because of the revive. So, I mean, you want to go for Revan first because once you take him off the board, it's easier to kill Jolee. And then, Jolie's probably going to get a revive in before you get a chance to take him out. But that's really the best way to go about it.
All right. Back to the top, we'll go with Canadian Whiskey herself, Team Money G, for the next question.
Okay. The next question is from Andrew Crookshank, and he says, I am a free-to-play player. I've gotten 4-star Duke Nukem and Bastila. Is there any point in pushing for 5-star, or is Darth Revan 7-star unlocked for sure? And then he says, Team You Rock.
I mean, I don't want to say for sure, but you can tell a lot about what's coming from the cadence of what's being laid out. The cadence of what's being laid out so far, right up to us waiting for Karth and Juhani, it has been exactly the same as the cadence that was laid out for Jedi Knight Revan. So that means that they're giving us the time to go all the way to 7 stars if you're super focused farming and you have that crystal input or you pay to play. My guess is that it is 7 stars for sure. That said, Darkside Bastila is an incredible character. I think she's one of the best characters in the game right now, and she's turning out to be very, very plug and play. She's an excellent character. So I have her now at 6 stars, and she's starting to be like not so scary, for me to put in on defense. She's more scary for other people because she's not so squishy. So getting her to 5 stars is not the worst thing in the world. And Duke Nukem, he's his shards are dropping like crazy. For me, I don't know. I've heard that for a lot of people. So he's a really easy farm. It just really depends. As a free to play player, that the best strategy is knowing what to ignore, right? And so you have to kind of decide where your roster's at. If you have Jedi Knight Revan, if you have Chewbacca, if you have C-3PO, I mean, these are characters that you can do so much with. And I just, Darth, whoever who's coming in March, maybe whoever he or she is, there's going to be a way through, hopefully, and hopefully it'll be with one of these other characters. Plus, being at the top of arena is really important, especially for a free to play player. Being as high as possible is really important. But there's other ways to do that. A lot of what I call, and people just get at me for it, but the elite free to play who get all of this stuff. I have a free to play player who's got a 7-star Millennium Falcon, a 7-star Chewbacca, a 7-star C-3PO, and it's just so much discipline. And part of the thing with them is that they're just really ignoring everything else and focusing on making good guesses. But one of the things that a lot of free to play players do is they have really bumping Nightsisters, right? There's very few teams. Traya was very hard to kill with the Nightsisters. People still did it, but they also did it with Finn, right? It's all these kind of alternative, anarchistic squads. The Nightsisters and Zeta Fin are always able to kind of between them to kill the meta. And I climb every day using Mother Tells and Lead because I don't want to get soft. I don't want to rely on Revan because I love Grand Arena. I love Territory Wars, and I want to be able to put Revan where I want to put that team. And a lot of times that's on defense. So you kind of sometimes have to step out of the box and look at your roster and say, okay, there's all this stuff coming at me. Do I have these kind of essential teams that last the test of time, like Rex and Finn and the Nightsisters? So right. That's sorry, that's a long answer.
No, it's a good answer. All right, next we'll go back up to she would be on the council if she only followed the rules. Jedi Dastra.
All right. Question from Doja-san. When modding Grandmaster Yoda, what is the breaking point for speed versus offense? As long as it is over 6k special damage, then as much speed, or what are your criteria?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what set too. So if it's an offense set, yeah, you can reach 6k easily, and then you have the goal of 7k. So like anywhere between 6 and 7 for offense set. If you're doing a crit damage set, you would have a 5k to 6k threshold. And yeah, for arena, I like some speed on there because to help the AI out on defense. After you've reached that offense threshold, then you can put some speed on there to help make him more annoying. So I found like the faster Grandmaster Yodas with high offense are one of the most annoying ones to deal with. Especially if you're using like different, or people are using different counters against it. It's not always Revan versus Revan, especially like Grand Arena. You're going to come up with different counters, for instance, and territory wars. So you kind of want to think about what would make it more difficult for the opponent overall. And because you have to think the AI, you have to always try to think about the AI and what counters will you use to make it as annoying of a squad as you can get. And with that said, yeah, you definitely want offense on there. Like, I don't want to see no speed sets being ran on Yoda. You know, you'll want
get a speed set of dash and you'll like it.
The only exception with the raid, you could care less about any speed on the raid because of, you know, the time span, and you're always going to be summoning him to hit. And I think I don't want to ramble.
Well, yeah, that's totally fine. All right, let's go to Chicago's other finest, Ramon, for the next question.
Chicago.
Other finest.
But you're not in Chicago.
It's New York's finest, baby.
Oh,
that's what I thought.
Oh, let's go to Brooklyn 99975.
There we go. I was like, you're insulting Ramon right there, calling him Chicago.
Oh, that was in Chicago. Okay.
And I apologize to all the people in Chicago. Not insulting you, just insulting Ramon. Okay. Question from Zombie 749 or 69TX. Question for all. I am free to play and have gotten used to getting the new stuff the second time around. With that in mind, should I go all in on General Grievous since I do have him at 7-star gear 7?
I would say yes. You know, I mean, I think that he's going to be you know, an important piece, and I think he's going to make a lot of the droids better. Again, I haven't seen what his rework's going to look like yet, but if you're not too far from getting him, I would say, you know, go for it. I think he'll be a nice piece, and you know, basically for a lot of people that have been farming him over time, you know, basically for free, you
know.
We'll wait to see the kit reveals though too. I mean, you hoard gear, just be in hoarding mode right now, and yeah, you'll have a high probability of forming a really good droid squad, but don't, you know, unless you have a bunch of resources to spare, don't go all in right now. Wait until you see everything first.
Are we talking about shards here or gear?
Well, shards you definitely can get it, yeah, but gear I would hold off until when we see the kits completely, and then I'm telling you, let's wait. They're gonna throw a curveball, and we're gonna be like, oh no, they did it again, and we went all in on the droids.
Well, I think there's just...
I mean, to be fair, if the droid ends up being a very powerful squad, it wouldn't be a waste, you know, after you see what Grievous's rework is, and then the droid I'm willing to bet there are going to be some...
I think they're going to be great, too, but, you know...
And then, but yeah, with that being said, we know, like, the HK rework is down the line. Just a matter of when all that stuff goes down.
That you're feeling the dust.
Well,
you know,
the other thing is that you have to bear in mind that you know, it may require that you have like Droidica to really have a meta team, and if that's the case, then you know, obviously it's behind a paywall, and that's something that you want to maybe hold off on. But if you can put together a good squad with, you know, like L3 and T3 and maybe R2 and or maybe C3PO and put him together with Grievous, then I mean that's that's obviously a good investment.
All right, let's go to the next question, and we'll have it for Canadian Eskimo Pie herself, T-Money.
Okay.
All right, my little Ewok. Question from member Tauntauns.
I didn't say Ewok. What is this Ewok?
I'm calling her. She's my Ewok.
No,
okay.
what?
Because I revealed on our stream when I did my face reveal. I revealed also that I was an Ewok. I showed my ear. I allowed my Ewok ears to flow free.
What is this? What is this nonsense? Finn.
What? Are you scared of Ewoks? Is that what's going on right now?
He's afraid of the spread of Ewoks.
I'm scared. Yeah, because I want to.
He's afraid that the Ewoks will spread.
No,
soon the Porgs.
You just get yourself a good ATST and then just step on them. I mean, that's science.
I have to say, Ewoks are built for weather like Canada, so it does make sense.
Yeah, true. They had a lot of fur for the forest.
All right. Question from member Tauntauns for T-Money. What are 5 solid defense teams I should work on for Grand Arena 5v5? I'm currently working on Karth lead team and would like 5 solid options. I'm at 4.1 million GP.
Okay. So Karth. Let's talk about Karth. Karth is... It depends where Bastila is in and around your GP. I love seeing Bastila on defense because, I'm just going to, full disclosure, I hold Nest, I often hold Kira, and I just kill your Bastila with one or both of them. And it's lovely to see that go down, and I laugh maniacally. So there's very few Bastila that can kill my Nest. My Nest is 100,000 in health and protection. I don't recommend you put Bastila on defense. Karth goes down like butter with Bastila, right? Especially if you have Grandmaster Yoda on that team for sure. But if you have a good Ezra, if you have a good tank, that they can't land the dots. That's a huge part of that team, and down they go. So the Karth team, we're putting that team on defense a lot, but I think that people are going to have to learn. This is the time right now that people are going to have to learn to take all of these teams that we have on defense, many of which are protection regain teams. You get those extra points if everybody's clearing the board. 30 points, 35 points. That's a lot of points, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to rebalance my teams to see if I can still set a really strong defense and while keeping some of these protection regain squads. So, Rex, Traya, CLS to some extent. Putting teams, seeing if I can put teams like that. This is just an experimental thing for me though, and I'm not sure if it'll work. My guild's like, you're stupid, but I'm trying to ignore them because I've ignored a bunch of teams that are really awesome because people told me I'm stupid. So I'm going to stop doing that. So defense teams, Revan is fantastic. 5 versus 5 practice. Don't climb with Revan. Climb with, if you can get to the top, climb with whatever else that you have in your roster. Rey, Nightsisters, Traya. Revan is fantastic on defense. It will absolutely force the counter that you want to force out of their hand. Bounty Hunters, if you're gearing them really well, is fantastic. Same with Kylo Ren Unmasked. You're forcing people to use Rey and CLS on those teams basically, so that if you put something that requires Rey or CLS in the back behind a zone that has things like Revan, Bounty Hunters, Crew, they're going to struggle. So that's really how you want to set your defense board. You want to set them so they want to go one way because it's easier to peek in the back, but you're draining their counters the whole time. So Revan, Bounty Hunters, Crew, Kira is good. People are really figuring out how to use them, but the key is to mod these teams correctly. So if you have crazy health on Vandor Chewbacca at gear 12, and you have L3 and you have a fantastic Zalbar and a fast mission or slow mission, however you want to mod her. Like, it's really paying attention to the speeds on these guys. And then I firmly believe in making teams that people go like, okay, I can definitely take that down with something non-meta, but they actually can't. So I love putting Ackbar on defense. It holds for me almost every single time. I have my Princess Leia at once his leadership is taken into account, at over 300 speed. And actually I've reduced her speed a little bit and put a crit damage set on her, so she's hitting a little bit harder. But that's, that's a surprising thing. And you need to have, if you don't want her to go into stealth, you need to either, beat her speed or come in with a dispeller like Baze or whatnot. So, putting in teams that people don't expect, lots of Rex comps, that's really important. And it's an opportunity also to get creative and to test and to kind of, push your roster a little bit, use your roster a little bit in ways that you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
All right. So the next question, this is for Republic Critics Will Do Nicely, Jedi Dasher.
Goddamn. Okay. Next question is from Daniel McCracken. It says, question, I'm currently farming Old Republic, on pace to finish in about 70 days without using refreshes. Should I speed up via fleet or start farming Nest with the option to help Old Republic if needed?
Yeah, first of all, nice. You're on track there. I mean, because that's for the... I'm assuming the Old Republic or the Revan or the other Old Republic. I'm not sure. Do you know what he means?
I'm assuming it is the ones for Revan, because Bastila and Canderous aren't in fleet. So I'm assuming he's talking about the original ones for Revan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it'll be a bit, again, before that event comes around. So you can keep, he said he was, 70 away?
70 days away, yes.
Oh, 70 days away.
Yeah, he's on pace to finish in about 70 days without using refreshes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the event won't be back that early. So you could just stay on track and keep... and you can focus on other stuff too, so you can kind of spread it out more, because the only reason to speed it up is if you thought the event was going to drop right away again. But considering the Revan event just happened, I don't see that happening again in 2 months. I mean, do you guys think it would come back that soon?
I mean, even if it does, right, if they make it 60 days, then you have a week for the event. That's 67. He's on pace for 70. You can speed it up then.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There's no rush right now. You got a lot of time. Just don't lose that pace. Keep on target. But you don't have to go all out with the refreshes on them. I mean, granted, they are good characters. The only reason to speed it up a little is if you wanted them to be more viable for, Territory Wars, Grand Arena. That'd be the only reason to hasten the pace a little, to max them out as soon as possible. But no, I mean, you're on a good track for the next Revan event. You don't have to, there's no pressure where you're at now. There's no, you can put those resources elsewhere too. Obviously, the droids, for instance, if you have any of that. Keep an eye on those kits and what's happening with the droids. Keep an eye out in this month and next month. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff coming, not just what we know, but more stuff. So yeah, you're in a good spot. Keep it up.
All right. Next question, for definitely not from Chicago, confirmed, Ramon.
All right, and let's get him a Sith question here, because I know Ramon loves him some Sith. He's the counter to Adastra. So question from Paparazzi. Question, I have Sith Marauder at 4-star, Sith Assassin at 6-star, and B2 just unlocked at 4-star, all pretty much ungeared. Which one should I be farming with my passive daily Cantina energy?
Canderous Ordo.
Just completely off the board on that one.
Damn it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, B2, I guess. But I mean, it's if you had to pick out of those three, because even though the Sith are good, I don't really see a place for either of those Sith other than maybe Assassin inside of a Maul team. Marauders really just kind of got no home right now. Now that could change if we get some awesome Sith character in the next 30 days that is amazing and kind of utilizes the skills that the Assassin or Marauder bring to the table. But I would say that a sure bet out of those three is, I mean, you know that B2 already got a rework, and we're getting another rework for Grievous, and you know we're getting some new droids, and we're probably going to get some droid love here. So plus B2 is, I think, a little bit more beneficial for other squads in like territory wars and Grand Arena. I mean, you can kind of throw B2 into some different teams, and he can give you a dispel and buff immunity, and you know, obviously his ability to gain term meter gives him a free character to kind of mod how you want, because you don't need to worry about speed with him so much. So you can give him some health or protection, and just make sure he kind of survives. So he's a good character to have overall. I would say out of those three, B2. But in my opinion, again, I think that you know, if you're really concerned about Sith, I would start farming Canderous Ordo, because I think that
he said his Canderous Ordo is already maxed, by the way, and he was thinking about it in terms of should he prepare for Sith fleet meta, or should he start preparing for a Separatist droid rework?
Okay, well, that makes a little bit more sense, because you know, with the Palpatine ship and everything, and yeah, there's a good chance that there could be a Sith ship that comes out. So that kind of changes my thinking a little bit. So if you're already at max with Canderous Ordo, and now you're just kind of farming your last pieces there, and you know, you don't really care about the whole droid thing, then yeah, I would say go with, again, I'd still go with Sith Assassin first, you know, because Sith Assassin's kind of the more useful out of the two if you're going to go with Sith. But I would say Sith Assassin and then Sith Marauder if you're going for ships, and then you know, B2 would be the main option if you're not really going for a ship meta and you're concerned about the viability in Arena or in Grand Arena and the other areas of the game.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question to I live in the real version of Hoth, Miss T Money G.
Okay, and before we get to that, I want to apologize to everyone from Chicago and also for Paparazzi. It's a she. I accidentally said he. I didn't realize. So shout out to Paparazzi. She's awesome. And everyone in Chicago. Okay, next question is from Grande Chingon. And the question is, who should I farm in Cantina? I just finished Canderous, and I need Ayla, Gar, Imperial Super Commando, Marauder, and B2. So which one would you go for, Miss T Money?
What were they again? Imperial Super Commando, B2, Gar, and
Sith Ayla. Marauder and Ayla.
Sith Marauder. Okay, well, first, is that like a really uncreative alias of Grande? It's like Grande.
No, Grande is actually a actual word in Spanish that means big, large.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's been here.
I mean, you are Canadian, you know. I mean, I don't know if you know
Grande,
this.
Grande hiding in the chat. Okay, so I think that I mean, again, it really depends on your roster. I think Gar and Imperial Super Commando, you know, they have a fantastic ship. They are. I'm sorry, my dark side and Empire friends. I'm going to get kicked out of the Empire server one of these days. They are useless in next to useless in PvP unless you have a stacked roster with a lot of fantastic Empire characters and you're allocating a lot of mods to them. So I would personally, those are not going to be geared in my roster for a long time. Ayla is probably, I would say, her and Anakin are the two that, you know, many people don't have, that you need to kind of gear to make to bring your Jedi up to 10 for 2 squads, a Bastila squad and a Revan squad. So if you have those 2 characters with their leads Zeta, you're probably going to want to split them, and Ayla does work well on that team. And I'm sorry, Jedi Master Dastra. She has been quite disappointing for me. It could be that I don't have the mods for her, but she's still at gear 11. But I was hoping for a little bit more from her. I think maybe you just need a lot of potency and critical chance to see her, and probably speed with that to see her shine. But she's definitely one of the best to split those teams. She's going on my Bastila team anyway. And then Sith Marauder and B2. B2 is really good. He's very usable at gear 9. I put him on defense in Territory Wars and Grand Arena at gear 9 often, which is, you know, my guild's really big, so there's very, very, very few characters. He's probably the only one now that I'll allow on the board at gear 9. So he does, you know, he is very useful. He's scary. Build him with tons of tenacity and potency. No speed, just, you know, as high as you can get in tenacity and potency. He's a very, very flexible tune, and with his rework, it is actually a decent rework, and you'll see him being used even more in creative teams in Grand Arena, and hopefully with these new droids coming out. So, but right now, hold. Where, like, I have that itchy trigger finger right now. There's so much I want to gear. I think that Grand Arena is starting in the next couple of days here, and I always kind of like panicky farm some, like, a tune or like a new team in those days before. I'm trying so hard not to do that, because Droidica could Droidica, come on, like Droidica, right? And they have been really good about making Marquees viable at 4 stars. It's not always on defense. You can't always put them on defense at 4 stars, you know, think Nest, but certainly you can use them on offense at 4 stars, you know, Nest, Bastila, Bastila, Sean Fallen. There's just so many Marquees are viable at 4 stars, 3 stars. So, little aside here, did you guys see last night, I believe they snuck out a change to the cost of Marquee packs? Mm-hmm. And
we have questions about those coming, don't worry.
Oh snap. I was like, I like posted it for the guild, like, did you guys see this? They're like, yeah, we saw it like an hour ago, thanks, see.
Yeah, she like sometimes she's a little behind.
I know, which is great because I'm a game changer, right? So like you'd think that I know, but the way that I knew is that another game changer, you know, posted like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh yeah, hey, what the hell is that? Man.
All right, next question for she'll make you go home and rethink your life, Jedi Dastra.
Well, hold on, before we get there, two things.
Right.
One, I want to say hi to another person that just hopped on. Hi, Warrior.
Yo.
Hi.
Wait a minute. He said he wasn't going to be on. That can't be the real Warrior.
Yeah, I said that because I needed sleep more than I needed to talk with you guys, sadly, today. But I woke up, and once my cat's on my face, she won't let me go back to bed. So it is apparently going to be Jedi Academy for the next hour because my stupid cat wants to sit on my face. Get off of me.
Okay.
She's like, you can't sleep. You're supposed to be on Jedi Academy. Get up. You're supposed to be on Jedi Academy.
I know.
The cat's just looking out for you.
Yeah. Like meow,
and then
meow, 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 meow.
And then the other thing, since we're kind of at the halfway mark really quick, tonight there is the Angels stream for the American Cancer Society. They are helping us with the ACS campaign, which we have dubbed Stew Strong, because we are doing it kind of for Stew, who was one of the original members of Reality Skewed Gamers, and he was unfortunately diagnosed with thyroid cancer. He's been treated. I think he should be having his test, I think, soon, if he hasn't already, to hopefully be in remission and all of that kind of stuff. But really quick, I was hoping that all of us here and everyone in chat could wish Stu a happy birthday, because it was his birthday yesterday.
Hey, happy birthday, Stu!
Happy birthday, Stu!
Happy birthday, Stu! Have a good one from Zach.
You will have a good birthday.
Hey, who let the Somalian Canadian pirate in here?
I liked. Did you hear JMA's mind tricks?
Yes, you will have a good birthday. All right. So, So we were on a question for Adastra, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
and then we'll get one for Warrior.
Yes, then we'll get one for Warrior. So, question for Adastra from member Tauntauns. What do you think of Karth lead Zeta with Mission and Zalbar, both Zeta'd, and Canderous Ordo with Juhani as a fifth? Or do you see Juhani performing better on another team, or is she even good?
Yeah, I mean, Juhani. I was really hoping she would fit in some Jedi squads pretty well, but she's kind of for like a third-tier Jedi team. She's definitely better with her Old Republic buddies, because she pairs really well with like Mission and Z, and well, in that team in general, because that's the exact team I've been running, trying to experiment with it, trying to see, like for Grand Arena, it's a great defensive team and even offense. I mean, shoot, Mission and Z together, they're just so good. Unfortunately, I mean, I've been kind of disappointed with it. I'm hoping, like once they're maxed out, because like Karth, I'm waiting until he's farmable to get him up. My Canderous, he's 6-star, almost 7. The drop rates haven't been as friendly for me, like for some people. But it's a solid team. Like for me personally, it hasn't been as solid as I was hoping. But I've heard testimonies from other people, like this is a strong team that gets some holds in Grand Arena, for instance. The important, like I have the Zetas on all of them except Canderous. So I've been messing around with modding to just try to make it more of a pain. And one thing, you definitely want some speed on your Karth. That is like one of the main things. Your mission, you want her to just murder stuff, so it can be a very powerful team. And but yeah, Juhani, she can fit in there. She's not a must though, like I've seen, because like some people, or rather a lot of people, they're not crazy like me and they didn't get a 7-star Juhani right away. So people have been using other characters in that spot with success. So once you have her more viable, she can fit in there nicely. Or like I said, on a 3rd-tier, 2nd-tier Jedi team, depending what Jedi characters you have available. Like under Bastila, Juhani works really well when you split them up like that. So she's just not as good as I was hoping she would have been, but she has her place. The Old Republic buddies, she fits in with them. But yeah, that's a good team. I think I've lost track of the original question here.
All right,
but,
I got you.
But yeah, the Karth team, it's a good one. It has a lot of potential. You have to just get the modding down, get them geared up a little more, and yeah, it's solid. Keep on target there.
Stay on target. All right, next question for Pablo Picasso Warrior.
Pablo Alright, question from Fat Tony 99. Question: when are we getting the Finn nerf for heroic Sith? I'm sick of getting 2nd or 3rd place instead of 1st or 2nd every time now because of Zeta Fin and C-3PO.
I honestly don't know when they're going to have that worked. The thing is, they've announced that they're not in a rush to fix it, and the reason is they've announced they're going to fix it so everyone knows it's happening, but they don't want to break Poe. You know what I mean? The interactions with Poe, Finn, and C-3PO and stuff. So they don't, like, I don't know. They've done that before in the past. where they fix something and then it's like a bad day for everybody and then we're all upset. So they want to make sure that that's not what happens. So I know that it's on the top of their mind, but they also want to make sure that, you know, because part of it is it's the interaction is happening at the very core of the game, and to fix it can possibly break other major aspects of the game, and they don't want to do that. So they're just not in a rush to have it fixed right now. But I hear you. I see people that are getting ridiculous scores because, you know, they're using that team, and I'm not, because I don't have the time right now in my life to do that, but I would love to. That'd be fun. Get, you know, 50 mil. Great. Yay. So hopefully soon, hopefully in the next, you know, 6 to 8 weeks, they'll have something announced about what they're doing.
Soon to you. All right.
Ranger.
Yes.
It's in and out of buffering.
Is it? Let me look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not us. It's definitely not us. I'm not getting anything on my end.
Hooray, YouTube. YouTube has been really weird lately.
I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube. It is not us. We're steady as a rock.
All right. Hopefully it'll keep going. I played around with some settings, Ranger. We'll see if we can adjust. There's some issues with OBS too lately with the latest update. So, but it looks like it's going fine now.
Yeah. Okay. Next question for Reading Rainbow Ramon.
All right. Question from Opera Pro Woolen. Question: who are the good people for crit avoidance arrows?
Man, what a horrible question.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like it, Mr. Man.
I hate crit avoidance arrows. I personally don't believe in them at all. But who are good people for crit avoidance arrows? I would say, I would say with a character that already has some crit avoidance kind of built in. You know, we used to theory craft a team with the whole General Grievous lead with his minus crit damage, and you know, just putting like crit avoidance arrows on like a whole squad behind him, and you know, I don't think it would have ever worked, but it was something that we used to toss around as like a, you know, a possibility. Honestly, I don't want to misinform you. I don't really have a good answer. There are people probably on the panel here that would be better to answer this question because they use more crit avoidance. I think we discussed this with Warrior before.
I'm not a big fan of crit avoidance arrows. They come in handy here and there. Maybe.
I am.
I'm not. Well, then go for it.
So in general, okay, so most of the characters probably will not use crit avoidance. There's a few, and a lot of them are actually team-based. In particular, the one that I loved using crit avoidance arrows are the Sith team under Traya lead. Because you get the crit avoidance anyways with her lead. You add the stuff from an arrow and add 35% crit avoidance. Sion becomes really difficult to kill. Sith Trooper with his defense and then crit avoidance becomes really difficult to kill. Traya, if you can get a really good crit avoidance arrow with speed secondary on it, it works really well on Traya as well. So that one is more of a specific team lineup. The other ones tend to be more on the tank oriented, because depending on what the meta is and who you're typically fighting, sometimes there is teams that do a lot of crit, right? Like if you're facing the Rebel team in particular, like when Rebels were really kind of going, that was one part. And so if you're constantly getting attacked by Rebels that have pretty high crit chance, crit avoidance can help on your tanky characters, especially if you're like Kenobi used to have a crit avoidance on for some time, although he did benefit more from some of the other stats, so I kind of switched it around every now and then. L3 sometimes I will put a crit avoidance arrow on. Sunfac had a crit avoidance arrow on for the longest time, and I kind of switched his mods around just to get a 5 something on him as I've been remodding. But it's pretty much situational for the most part, in my opinion. And the Sith team in particular is the one that I really like crit avoidance on, Sion and Sith Trooper.
Crit avoidance.
Don't forget Zalbar. Zalbar loves crit avoidance.
Yes, Zalbar can too, but I've been putting health on him because he like recovers so much with him in mission. I've been testing that one. That's the one I've been testing. So if you're saying crit avoidance arrow works on him, Adastra, I'll take your word on it. I've been switching around on him to try and test it out a little more.
Crit avoidance is kind of meta situational. I think. You know, like I think like when characters that kind of rely on crit, like for example, Lando, when he was like in the meta and dominating and just AoEing everybody to death. You know, having crit avoidance arrows at that time, or anti-crit characters like you know, let's say Kenobi in there with that crit immunity, that really helps out a lot because it kind of negates his ability to refresh his cooldowns. But again, it's I think it's kind of situational, like you were saying.
Yeah. The only condition where you would definitely want to put a crit avoidance arrow on someone and just do it kind of without even thinking is if somehow you got like over 25 speed secondary on it. Because then that just gives you like extra stats for pretty much free, right? So instead of a 30 speed arrow, you can get like a 25 or a 26 speed arrow or something like that. Then you throw it on a tank character without even thinking about it.
All right. Let's go to the next question. We're back up to the top to Captain Jack Sparrow's first mate, Pirate T-Money.
All right. So question from Team Money from Archeron. It says, question for Darth whoever farming. Would you take Canderous and Darkside Bastila to 7-star or leave them short to allow them to be finished with faction crystal packs with Karth and Juhani? It seems like they're giving us more time with this farm than Jedi Revan. So do you think that the event will require higher gear levels?
I think, pardon me, I've always thought that this is going to really echo Jedi Knight Revan, and although the thought has crossed my mind, the hope that it's going to be 5-star, if this event is coming early March, for me, I'm of the thought that like 99% there is no chance of that. This is going to be, in my opinion, a 7-star event. You're going to need 7-star characters for it. Anything that I can farm to 7 stars in a free-to-play way for an event, it's going to be a 7-star event. Like they time this out, right? They do the math so that we can't say that it wasn't possible to do it free to play with a crystal bank and with like super focused farming and first in arena. It's possible. So I have stopped farming Canderous very in a focused way. I'm not doing 3 refreshes a day anymore because I'm sorry, Adastra, he has been very kind to me. I think 35 shards short of a full deck for him. Darkside Bastila, I'm continuing to focus farm at 3 a day because I think that there's going to be a bottleneck somewhere, and that hard nodes are a very, very difficult thing to farm quickly, and they can get quite expensive from a crystal perspective too. It's almost always, I think it goes up to, I think definitely the 200 refreshes are the 200 refresh on a hard node. I don't think that is cheaper. I think that's about the same price as buying them out of the store, but do not buy them out of the store. Don't buy these characters out of the store. You should focus farming the 25, 50, and 100 refreshes, and those are cheaper than the store. It just takes a little bit more work, I guess. So yeah, I don't think it's great that these characters are very usable. Canderous, I think, is quite a hard gear. Darkside Bastila isn't too bad if I recall. She's just very, very useful. I'm happy to have her in my roster, and she makes Emperor Palpatine so much stronger. She's a really, really great character. So I'm going to continue to farm them. Okay, this is the little caveat. Like, we haven't talked about what's going on with these marquee packs doubling in price. Is that going to also happen with the faction packs as well, right? Or are we going to get a faction pack like that? I think that they're going to, I don't know. I feel like we're going to get a whole bunch of like, are you kidding me's in the next little while because people are really on top of things. So for instance, are you kidding me? This faction pack is double the crystal cost. Or are you kidding me? All of the Old Republic tunes are in this faction pack. You know, things like that, which, you know, a month ago I've been like, they wouldn't do that to us. But seeing this last night, I'm like, oh gosh, there's curveballs coming that maybe or maybe not. Maybe they had planned ahead of time. Maybe they didn't. Maybe this is just my tinfoil hat. You know, maybe we're just doing so well as a community farming these things that they're like, all right, double the cost for you. So we'll we'll see. But I'd be careful about leaving it too far. And I think right now you still have time to really focus and just get this, if not free to play, with only doing the crystals, only doing the hard nodes and the Cantina. Hopefully not ship nodes.
All right. Next question to she'll never use synthetic crystals in her lightsaber, Jedi Master Dastra.
All right. So
I love
next,
how many of these you are coming up with.
I know that today is you're on fire.
Yeah.
You're on fire, Ranger.
all right. So question from Doja-san. Even though we can sim Galactic War, do any of you still play through it to use fun teams that you would otherwise not?
No, because they made it so stinking easy. Like, you can't really test stuff in there. Like, I still wish for the day that they have like a tiered Galactic War, like the normal or the easy one that we have now, and then a harder version for end game players. So then you can kind of test stuff out for that reason. Like, I missed that. I missed being able to try random combinations in there. Now the only way to really test stuff is, well, Grand Arena now, I guess. It's kind of our playground now. But yeah, it'd be nice if it was harder. I mean, for Galactic War.
All right. Next we'll go to Weekend Warrior for the next question.
All right. So it's been brought up a few times. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and maybe we can go around the panel for this one too. From Slama MC, and also asked by Revenator, what does the panel think about the new 1999 Marquee bundles?
I thought the Marquee bundle was $2,500.
Is it?
It's $19.99 to go from 3-star to 4-star, and then the
crystal one is the one the
15 to 330 drop. The crystal one is 2,500 crystals.
So it's not going to be $9.99 anymore for the.
No, it is okay. So I'll read the post really quick. So the Marquee bundle was previously $9.99. It is being moved to $19.99, and for that additional $10, they're adding 1,350 additional crystals. The Marquee Mega Pack is a new pack that's going to have a crystal cost of $25.99, so 2,599 crystals. That one will give you 15 to 330 shards. So one modification with the bundle, and then the new Mega Pack.
Yeah.
Hold on, can I just? I'm just going to interject for a second here because somebody just told me. Okay, so it says all Marquee bundles, items / currencies remain the same. 3,500 crystals will be added to the bundle. Okay, blah blah blah. Sorry. New Marquee Mega Pack. So standard Marquee Pack, there is no change. So it looks like they're still offering a standard Marquee Pack, and then they're going to offer a new Marquee Mega Pack where you're guaranteed 15 minimum to 330. Okay, so I'm taking back my tinfoil hat comment. Do you guys understand? So we're keeping the Marquee Pack normal, and they're adding in like a Mega Pack where you're guaranteed to get minimum 15 crystals, 15 shards.
Science.
So basically the only change is that $10, the Marquee bundles are $10 more, and then we're just getting this extra pack for people who are like, I'm so tired of getting 5 shards, I'm going to pay double to get 15.
Which is going to give them, this is the deal with the greater pack. They, the old ones that were 5 to 330 always pretty much averaged out at 7.1, 7.2. I have many videos on different characters, at least 5 over the last 2 years, at least. And it's always 7.1, 7.2. And so to get the same amount, you're going to have to get 21 average off that 15 pack. If you don't, then it's actually a worse deal. So this is kind of the same statistical drop according to them. So we'll see, but we got to, see the averages first. So I don't see the original Marquee Pack, obviously changing, and the new one, I don't see it as a better value. So the only thing that's really of concern for anybody would be the $9.99 to the $19.99, and the only difference is they're giving crystals for that, so they're forcing you to purchase $10 worth of crystals with your pack. So for you know, if it's a great character in your dolphin or whale, it probably isn't gonna change your buying pattern at all. Because honestly, you'd probably buy those crystals anyway. But if they're forcing you up buying crystals at a crappier rate versus buying at a better rate, which would rub whales a little wrong, because if I'm going to buy crystals, I might as well get it in bulk kind of thing, is the mentality. So getting a $10 pack of crystals isn't really worth it. And then for the free-to-play players or the really, really small dolphins, they, you know, $10 is one of those monthly costs where if there's a marquee character they do like, and it's going to make their character a little more viable, and they are going to take the time to put gear into them. Sometimes spending $10, it gets people who are free to play go, screw it, I'll do it. Or you get those people who are, you know, small spenders who are like, I'll spend $10 a month max, and that'll do it. But once you start hitting that $20 and then you start releasing 2 marquees a month kind of thing, you're pushing people into a higher spending category than they're willing to, and then you'll lose them. So I actually think that they're going to try this. They're going to find it devastating to their bottom line on their marquees in comparison to last year's marquees, and I think they're going to revert it because I don't see it being successful at all. I don't see the perceived value that should be given at that you know, price point.
All right. Next question for.
Well, does anyone else want to comment?
Yeah. Before I go on, go ahead.
We can go around the panel really quick because I know some people may have to leave soon. So
I'm just embarrassed that I need to read the forum posts completely because it was just right in there.
He covered it pretty well, honestly. I mean, I don't think much to be added to that.
I mean, the only thing I'm not sure about is whether or not this is going to affect their bottom line, because they're doubling the price on the bundle, right? So pretty much the only way they'll see a loss in profit is if they lose like 50% of the purchases. And I can't see that happening with this. They'll lose a percentage, maybe, I mean, I'm guessing at this point they have the numbers, but maybe 25%, even 30%. But if they're doubling the price and they're only losing 30% of their players from buying it, they're still going to make a profit off of these bundles. So, I mean, only time will tell whether or not this is worth it. I mean, business-wise, for them to make money, I think they're going to make money off of it, but I don't think it's good for the player base, especially because you're going to have disgruntled whales that may or may not spend. And, I mean, Warriors obviously commented on that too. Like, they're buying crystals at a diminished rate, which is a little bit silly. I don't know why they're putting it at kind of the worst cost if they're going to do this anyways.
I think that those packs, the hard dollar packs, have always been the best deal. And if you're going to pay to play anything, I think that's the wisest thing to pay to play. Doubling the price and adding those crystals for me as a dolphin, I mean, I'm probably categorized as a whale technically, but I like to just think myself as a dolphin. They're thinner, leaner. That's not going to make a big difference for me because I do buy those $10 packs for crystals, and that's not a big deal for me as a player. I don't buy vaults. It's a very, very rare thing for me. I will buy I will, but so that's just like you're making me buy crystals, whatever. Maybe it's encouraging people who have never bought crystals to like get into like, isn't it nice to have all these extra crystals, sort of thing. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to discourage spending at all if they get 5% of people who are just like randomly disgruntled about it, perhaps. But I mean, think about putting Cad Bane in with his ship. I'm sure that, and they did it again and again and again. Like, they would have stopped doing that if people did not buy that. So I think there's 2 things going on here. One is that we have to realize there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of new players and only hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of whales that are day one still playing. So when we think of 50 Revan being on a shard that's a year old and 20 Revan being on a shard that's 2 years old, like, we have to get some perspective about the game here. So I don't think it's going to decrease spending.
All right. Let's get to the next question. For Ready Player One, Revan.
All right. Question from Paparazzi. She asks, "What do I specifically do with my good mods after I have a great arena and raid teams, should I start getting my B tier speed mods? Who should be getting them?
Okay, so after you're done with your major teams?
Correct. After she says great arena. I'm assuming grand arena. So grand arena and raid teams, who should be getting her B tier speed mods?
Well, I don't know what her teams are.
No! Okay.
Apparently, yeah. So you see, how do you not know, Ramon?
Yeah, see, you got
I mean, so it's tough to say, like, who should she get, but I'm just saying, I think teams that kind of need speed, if you're talking about, like, you already have a Jedi team sped up and all that stuff, who should get your second tiers, I kind of feel like there's some value in, in Nightsisters. There's some value in, First Order. There's some value in, kind of not just kind of shooting, from.
Yeah, it's hard when you don't have the roster in front of you.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't really say specifically, but I'm just saying, like, in general, these are some second tier teams that you can, work on. Obviously a good, boss team or a good scoundrel team would be a way to go. Also, if you're starting to work on getting together a droid team, that's another way to go too, because droids need speed.
All right. Let's see, back up top to wait, where are we? Oh.
Well, one thing I want to talk about real quick is do you guys think with the droid updates and with possibly Grievous rework, do you think Jawa engineer is going to be necessary?
Possibly not.
No, I don't think so.
I need to see the so we were kind of discussing this before. The rework that I think Grievous is definitely going to be important, right? But the one that I think is going to end up being the most important rework to all of these droids is going to be IG-100. His interaction as a tank with Grievous and kind of acting as his protector in the AAT raid, right? If he has that same kind of maybe pre-taunt or an automatic taunt if you attack Grievous or something like that, I think can change the entire dynamic. And you may not need to be concerned about the team going first as much, which is what Jawa Engineer does, right? Like, he tries to get all of your droids to get additional speed, and then you kind of get rolling. If you can go with a little bit of a slower team and you're running IG-100 instead, and you have this B1 that just can take a beating and just keeps on adding these stacks to it, like, you can possibly make a good team. It's hard to say without seeing all the kits, though, because we have 3 characters pending, IG-100, Grievous, and Droidica, to actually see how they'll work together. But I don't think Jawa Engineer is going to be needed for this.
Well, my only thought process behind that is that, Jawa Engineer is really squishy. And, back when Jawa Engineer was meta, it was kind of when characters were more squishy overall. So it was a little bit easier to take out 1 or 2 characters before they got a turn. And then, kind of then just go, 5v3 and just, wipe out the rest of the board. Now, I feel like, you're not going to really, you're going to barely take out 1 character with a droid team. I don't know how much damage, Grievous is going to add to a team or anything like that. But I'm just saying, I feel like, it's not going to be as beneficial, like you're saying, because really, besides that initial speed boost, Jawa Engineer doesn't really add much else. A revive, and then some thermal deaths, But besides that, I think that you're going to probably want to go for, another attacker in there, or maybe, a tank or somebody, maybe L3 instead, somebody who's going to be able to help out the team more.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We have so many different droids now. Like back then, yeah, you had limited droid options, so Jawa Engineer was a easy one to go towards. But now that we have so many different droids, I'm thinking we're going to see a good variety of full droid teams because of how these different droids interact with each other as well, before even seeing the new kits and reworks. Like I think we're gonna have some fun droid squads out there.
Yeah, I have to step away, guys. So I'm gonna jump off here, but I appreciate you guys having me as always.
Of course, man, and we'll make sure to pimp your stuff at the end as always, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good weekend. Ramon.
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
All right, back up top. Next question for Canadian whiskey and maple syrup breakfast of champions. Team Money G.
All right. So next question. I'm trying to see if there was a question specific for Team Money.
I know they throw them in there.
All right. So question from Paparazzi, and she asks, "Can I climb with Nightsisters with Phase 4 heroic Sith modding?"
No. What the Nightsisters need, and I have seen people climb with just tons of offense and not a lot of speed, so you could definitely try it out. But the Nightsisters are very, very demanding, as are pretty much any counter to a Revan team, including Revan, right? You can't go in there with like no mods and kill a really, really stout Revan team. So my Nightsisters probably have, after Revan, just like Revan as a character, my best mods. And you need speed and a hella ton of offense. I think my Talzin is over. I think she's 7,100 special offense. I've got some like really great offense secondaries on my Asajj Ventress, and then you need to learn the team. There's some I know that's. Paparazzi, I know you are on the server, so I can post one of my videos for you. But it's a team that you just need so much patience for, and that you're almost dying like all the time. It's just you need a lot of patience, and you need to kind of really understand the Revan team and just kind of like control and wait. It is really, really reliable if you have the right mods on your sisters, but you need just like tons of health, tons of offense, and tons of speed, and so many characters need that. So it definitely needs to be a team that you're dedicating to be a Revan counter. Now, that said, my Nightsisters are so fantastic on defense. Like they're great. I mean, within my guild, sometimes they get a hold, and I'm very proud of that. But in my grand arena with people who are like my GP, they hold all the time. They are unkillable by the Imperial troopers, save some like super duper Imperial fanboy or girl coming to try and kill them. You're not going to kill my sisters with Imperial troopers. You're going to be really hard pressed to do so with Palpatine. They're, you face me in Grand Arena, just use Traya. That's what you need to do, because they're very, very strong team.
All right. Next question for. Let's see. Slide check here. Okay, there we go. The 13th member of the Jedi Council, Lady Adastra.
I'm going to give her this question to put her on the opposite side now. So Nathaniel Morgan asks, how do I mod Traya against Revan? There doesn't seem to be a consensus. Tanky with defense set, tenacity sets, protection or crit avoidance arrow, fast to get off and isolate. How do you mod a Traya to fight against a Revan team?
Well, having gone against Traya in my arena, I can tell you the more annoying ones are the tanky ones, because it takes forever to kill her. Like, I did some auto battle testing, and that Traya just would not die when I put it on auto. It was pretty ridiculous. This was a team that had the fallen Bastila in there too, because she just adds to that tankiness. It's disgusting. So yeah, for the more annoying ones, you definitely want the tanky route. I mean, I know some people, they can get the speed one to work, but I feel like the tanky one is the more annoying to attack, or if people don't know what they're doing too. And then he asked about crit avoidance on that. Which
yeah, for the arrow, protection or crit avoidance.
I see. Well, I mean, you kind of touched on that a little bit, but you can do a crit avoidance on there to capitalize on her kit and such, that it's not a bad option. But I feel like the protection, it would be survivability-wise, that you're wanting to just make her a statue, that I feel like that might edge it out slightly. But you can kind of experiment with either one and just see in your arena. Because that's the other thing. It's arena to arena based, because it's based on what everyone has modded, what teams they're using, and then of course what you have available mod-wise to equip to them. But yeah, I definitely a tanky Traya, I feel like it's also more reliable. Like again, people that I know that were using, like that was their Revan counter, because they didn't have Revan yet, so they had to climb through all our Revans with Traya. And all of them, probably like 99% of them, went the tanky route for a more consistent win, because, you know, you're having to go against some of these Grandmaster Yodas that can just murder you. So you have to try to survive that initial onslaught because of the whole Revan mechanic of must kill Traya first. You know, the AI always targeting Traya. So you want to be able to survive that first burst.
All right. I think Finn had to go, so...
Yeah, I'm heading out now. So.
I was going to say I have to go too.
All right, so just me, Scissorman Warrior, and T-Money G. We got this, yo.
Have a good one, you guys.
I did it, Dasha.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Finadiddle. All right. Let's finish these up, guys. Next question for Running with Scissorman Warrior. Author Olivestein. Question. Do you think that the Emperor's Shuttle is only part of a combo that is coming for ships, i.e. TIE Bomber or a new Empire capital ship?
You know, I think that it will play into something in the future, but I don't think that anything's imminent. They move at a much slower pace in ships than they do in the game, and the game moves a little slower than I think a lot of people want as far as content. So when it comes to ships, it's even slower. I've been, you know, hoping for a new capital ship now for the last like 8 months, and I thought we were going to get one in November or December, and we're here in February, and I don't know. I thought that maybe we'd get the Malevolence this month because we had the Grievous rework, but you know, they kind of did a road ahead, and they didn't even give a clue or a hint to that. So it's just, I don't know. It's hard to see the future, of course, and I don't know what the shuttle's going to be used for, but I'm going to try to get the shuttle to 5 stars. I have it unlocked finally today, but and I'm going to try to get it to 5 stars. But we've talked to the developers. The developers gave notes on it. It's not designed to take over the current meta, and the current meta is what I'm using right now for my crystals. And so, you know, the Galactic Chase is now a new delivery method for the gamers, or for the developers to bring out new things, such as new ships, new characters, new this, new that. Kind of like there was Marquee, and there's, you know, that special Marquee, and other just different delivery models of bringing characters out. And so there'll be other characters, and probably the Galactic Shuttle will come out again through the Galactic Chase. And when it does, you know, I'll try to finish it off. But I don't know what there's in store for it, but I'm sure at some point there'll be something where it'll say you need 5 Sith ships, and it'll be the 5th one. So you'll be like, oh, I guess I have to get that ship. And it's a slower grind on it, because you have to kind of grind other nodes and then hope for that drop rate to, you know, pay out. So We'll see.
All right. Next question for T. More money, more problems. G. From Slumma MC. Question. Do you think we will need Karth and Chihani for Darth Revan? There has never been a legendary that required light side and dark side characters. Is it more likely that HK-47 will be required?
A lot of people disagree with me on this one. A lot. But I am thinking that we're going to need all of the 9 companions for this journey. So it's going to be some sort of, you know, kind of telling telling the story of. I don't know the lore well enough. I don't actually think it's Darth Revan. I think that people understand, like, who understand KOTOR and who love KOTOR, understand that we can't really have these characters in game without Darth Malak, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make sense to be like, here's everybody, here's Darth Revan, Jedi Revan, all the companions, and oh, as an afterthought, here's Darth Malak, right? Now, so many people have said to me, we're going to have like a Marquee character. We're going to have a Marquee drop for Darth Malak. And then we're going to have to like panic farm him. You're going to have this huge crystal bank in order to get him to 7 stars. I'm like, they would never do that to us. No, like that's putting him way out of reach. But hey, this freaking thing with the Emperor's ship, right? That just kind of blows that ignorance on my part out of the water. So they could do something like that for Malak. They could release him as a Marquee and then have some like super intensive panic farm for him, where you have to have that crystal bank, you have to have the packs, you have to have everything in line in order to get him to 7 stars. So Little Maurice has been saying they're going to throw us a curveball. Well, this Emperor's ship thing, definitely a curveball. I saw a number of events coming before what I do think that there's still going to be an event in early March, but hold on to your hats. There might be more coming, because I don't think that we're going to get Darth Malak after Darth.
Can I add to that? Because I think you're onto something. Just from a marketing standpoint, Capital Games and EA have a mutually beneficial relationship financially, and anytime they want to change something in the game, they need to track analytics, and then they need to report those analytics. There would be no better way to launch a $20 Marquee pack and $2,500 booster packs than a big character that they know they'll have a high rate of participation, because then they'll be able to get higher analytics to show. Plus, the analytics will show better than normal, which will then lean into, this is a successful model, even if it maybe isn't, but the character carried it, so to speak. So if they were going to launch this at a time with a new character, it would behoove them to do it with, one of the newer, more popular characters. Now, it could be Darth Malak, but it could just be part of the Droids situation. They're trying to see if in the next Marquee character that they're dropping, if they can get analytics off of that. But you might be onto something with that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great point. Like the Emperor's shuttle they could have like Model A, Model B, and Model C, and Model A could be just the typical rollout, and Model B could be this this new kind of focus farm, panic farm thing. But they're testing us right now to see how many people are actually going to get this thing at 7 stars. We did the math. I was not part of the math. I was part of the are you sure? Are you sure, guys? Because our Discord server did the math for us. To get 7 stars, you will absolutely have to be doing the 800 crystal refreshes a day and possibly up to 1600. Now, the drops have been very, very favorable, so maybe not the 800 every day, but that's dedication. You have to be full bore running into the wind with this one in order to get it at 7 stars. So, if there's a ton of people that do that, they might be like, we got you guys. Gotcha.
Ha! Surprise, mother.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next question for. I got lost. It's Warrior.
There's just 2 of us now.
I know, but I want to make sure I'm always trying to be even with the questions, Dialar's Twi'lek's Tactics has a question for Warriors. Question: I switched out my speed arrow on Chewie with a 6E offensive arrow with 9 speed. Was this wise? I use him with CLS for a climbing Revan team.
Yeah, so especially in the purpose and function in which you're using him, that's amazing. He's going to take extra turns. He's going to take 2 extra turns every round, not to mention his own. And so he does do the health % damage, but his basic damage that he does, the more you can get, the better. Speed is always important in Arena just because, it's one of those things where the more turns a character takes, the more damage it physically does, because the more times it gets to hit the opposing team. But with him, because of his unique ability to take turns with everybody, I think that it's wise to stack him with a ton of offense, cross offense. And it depends on who you're going against. If you find yourself, just going against nothing but Revans, then yeah, I think it would be. And you're smart to do that. A lot of people are putting him in place of Bastila because she's kind of the one replaceable. And then you're replacing with someone that can shoot. I mean, you can get through, I guarantee he kills a Revan team in less than 90 seconds every time easily without having to go that 3.5, 4 minutes like it is with Revan, because he can kill Jolie with no problem with that combo. So, all right. Pretty cool. Yeah. Very Not nice. A bad idea.
Very nice. All right. Next question for T Canadian Money G. What is your Grand Arena defensive team using Ackbar and Leia? Who else is on that team? And that's from Porate.
So that team I've varied a little bit. My favorite combo, honestly, I shouldn't have brought Leia to Gear 12 because then it looks like a threat, right? It's like, oh, why does this person have this character at Gear 12? It kind of tips them off that it's just not a cheese squad that I've stuck in there because I don't have anything else. So I really actually wish I didn't bring her to Gear 12, especially because she doesn't have a freaking bayonet at Gear 12. Oversight. So I put in Admiral Ackbar lead Leia and Chopper, and then I've put in L3 and Vandor Chewie before. I've swapped out Vandor for Snowy Han, so that there's a reviver on there, and I've also tried Stormtrooper Han in there too. So a whole bunch of combinations. Like it's basically a team where trying to echo that Kira squad where you have to really pay attention to the reviver, the taunter, the damage dealer, right? And the kind of interplay between those three, so that if you don't really sit and think about it beforehand, if you're like, I'm just going to go in and, debuff everyone and kill Leia, and then oh, Chopper's taunting, and oh, he's more annoying than I thought he was because he's dodging everything, and then Snowy Han revives Leia and she's back into stealth and and regaining all her health. So it's just kind of, it's finding those teams where there's that revivers, I think, are probably the most powerful category of characters for Grand Arena to play with, because it's that extra little gimmick or just that ability it's very unpredictable.
All right. Next question for Warrior. Hello, Nix. Question. My F&BS is at 6 stars and is 62 out of 100. How many more days before I get her 7 stars, assuming that I refresh her farm node for the 25, 50, and 100 crystal refreshes?
Well, I do the 25 and the 50. That's it. So I do the 3, the original plus the 2 refresh, so 3 total. And I'm getting around 10 a day. So
nice.
If you're doing one more, you'll be around maybe 13, sometimes a couple days you'll get more, so a couple days you'll get less, but it's a pretty slow grind. I mean, she's 20 energy. It's just horrible to have one 20 energy node. What's funny is we say it's horrible, but we're able to do 3, 4 refreshes plus, 8 attempts, and that's insanity. I remember doing 3 with no refresh capability and just getting a single character shard every day. And a character that has 330 shards is a year-long grind, And if you happen to get it dropped in some other pack, you may speed it up to 8 months. But I remember doing First Order TIE Pilot for 8 months. So she's not that bad anymore in comparison, to some of the older stuff. But yeah. It's going to take you a while. Probably, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 days with those refreshes.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question for Warrior. How long do you think they're going to leave this 25 crystal refresh in? Do you think that, do you think they're going to take that away from us anytime soon?
Well, so I don't think they're going to take it away soon, because I think that it encourages people's crystal spendage. And I think they're realizing that even though it's, allowing people to get characters faster, I think they're going to leave it. And part of the reason I think they're going to leave it, and, you know, people will probably skew me for this, and they'd be pretty upset if I said this, but I believe they've taken a lot of the characters' drop rates from 33% down to 20%, especially some of the better to get characters. So while we have to, you know, to get the character, to get the same number of, you know, shards that we would before, I believe we actually have to now actually spend more. So it's actually to our detriment. If they went back to the old way, they would have to kind of bump up those drop rates back up to where they're at. I believe, and I, you know, people can say I'm wrong, but I believe they've taken the drop rates and dropped them due to the fact that now there's 24 attempts and 2 refreshes to 20%. And I've been tracking my drop rates on all my characters, and certain characters have been consistently throughout the entire farm all the way to 7 stars 20%. There's been a couple of really key characters that never averaged out higher than 20%. So it's hard for me to think that I would have such horrific drop rates that my 33% average that I was tracking for 2 years on other characters would go to 20% through an entire farm to 7 stars on multiple new characters that are key. For example, Bastila, Sion, you know. So I think they've done a thing where they've taken the drop rates, dropped them down, and given us more refreshes and said, look, we're helping you out. But in reality, they're actually making more money because we're having to make more attempts to get the same number of shards. Call me a tinfoil hat wearer, I don't care.
Science. Let's see. Next question for T-Money. What do you think, and this is from member Tauntauns, what do you think for B2 as a 5th on a bounty hunter defensive team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. B2 causes a lot of problems. He just has to be modded correctly, or he's useless, because you really need him. You know, if your bounty hunters on defense are facing Imperial troopers on offense, you need B2 to remove those buffs and to lay down buff immunity. You need that to happen. And if he just removes the buffs, well, you know, they're still they still have their full turn meter, and they still have a good chance to just kind of recover with the next move. But you know, absolutely, it's very, very scary to go up against a bounty hunter team with both B2 and a pre-taunter. It makes it very, very, very difficult to take them out with Imperial troopers. And that's how I look at my Grand Arena and Territory Wars, is that there's all these kind of extra bonus teams that people have right now. Palpatine, troopers, Ewoks, that I'm just like, you're not using those on, you know, against my Grand Arena teams if I can help it. You know, you're going to have a really, really bumping Ewok squad to use it on any of my, you know, any of the main teams that you want to take down with that, like on crew or bounty hunters, or, you know, like, no. So that's just a way you can deny your opponent some options, is to protect them using mods, using character compositions that are a little bit unusual, to deny those really key teams. You're not denying Rey, you know, you're not denying CLS, you're not denying Traya, you're not denying Revan, but there are certain teams that you can just mod and and theory craft against in Grand Arena.
All right. Last normal question for Warrior. It's from Fat Tony 99. Question: when doing 60 mods for pilots, who is more important first, MILF Crew or Ackbar?
The crew. Ackbar, you know, the ship's one of those things where, of all irony, if you're slower, sometimes it actually works better, because they try to focus down one of your ships and they waste a really good Ackbar triple mollywop ability, and then it doesn't quite kill the ship they were trying to go after, and then all of a sudden you've got your Houndstooth loaded with turn meter, and you're going with your triple mollywop, and you just restore all that protection they just tried to kill you with, and now you've damaged them, and they don't have that protection regeneration immediately, which sometimes makes it almost easier to kill them. I get ships that are in my leaderboard that are slower than me. It's exactly what happens. It's super annoying that I'm faster, and yet they get the advantage and kill a ship first, because, you know, I don't quite have enough gusto, even with all fully maxed out ships, to kill that one ship. and then they just retaliate and everything is regenerated right back. And then I don't have a way of regenerating protection immediately and lose a ship. So I would say don't worry about Ackbar as much as the Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon, super important ship to get up. The damage when max is something a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about the speed add and the health add. You know, you want it to be tankier and you want it to have speed, but you do actually get multipliers on your damage. And, you know, Millennium Falcon's hitting for 75 to 100K when max. And that's, I mean, that is just
ridiculous.
That's just insane. It is. So you definitely want to try and max that out first, because that's your damage dealer. It's going to chew through any team on Earth right now.
All right. Now we get to some fun questions. One was for Dasha, but she's not here, so maybe we'll get to it next time. Hellenix, though, does have a question. I'm going to throw this to you, T-Money. Hellenix says, question, someone did a cool 2-minute Angels of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes promo video made to resemble the old Charlie's Angels promos from the 70s and 80s. You know anything about this?
Yes, so I'm going to post that on the OM server. You guys might have already posted it on RSG. Thank you so much, Hellenix, for making this a very cool trailer for us. We're going to have a lot of ladies there tonight, it looks like. Can I just pitch the Angel stream right now? Is that okay?
Yeah, we're just some fun questions.
So Finity mentioned it before. RSG, as you guys all know, they're having a big, almost year-long charity fundraiser for the American Cancer Society in honor of Stu. And we're going to hold an Angel stream tonight. Operation Metaverse channel is going to host that. And we're going to do a fundraiser for the RSG fundraiser. We're going to have all of the angels, not all of the angels on, there's hundreds of angels, but we're going to have about 6, 7, 8 angels on there. And we're going to be talking about our Revan counters. We're going to be talking about vibro blades, which is going to be a lot of fun, as you can imagine. Dana Descent is going to take us through a lore discussion. We'll have how well do you know your angels quizzes, and even a Mad Lib for those who, as a little echo back to the late night streams for RSG and the Nerf Herders and the After Hours and all of those awesome community streams that aren't going on at the moment. So yes, please join us tonight, and you can bring your, the Valentine's money that you were going to spend on all the angels, and you can donate that to the American Cancer Society instead.
There you go. All right, next question for Warrior. How often, from What Else 73, how often does Warrior have a cat on his face?
Well, apparently every single friggin' morning, because my cat, her name is Milkshake, by the way, because Milkshake brings it. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn right.
No, she's like white and black. She's a gorgeous cat. She's a ragdoll cat, so she's like the nicest cat on planet Earth. But she just, when she wants my attention, she just crawls onto my pillow and just like tries to creep onto my freaking face to like wake me up, but she thinks she's being like not aggressive about it. So she's like, I want food, so I'm going to sit near you. And then she's like, well, I'm not close enough, so let me get closer and get closer. And next thing you know, I'm just like, I'm wearing a toupee. It's like, what the heck? She's a good cat.
Yeah,
I love her to death. But if you're trying to go gross or something with it or be silly, I'm not going to play into that.
No, I don't think it was meant that way at all. Apro's Rune, question for Warrior: is your cat getting revenge for your Heffel and in and out on McVenom's public review?
Yeah, probably not.
If you haven't seen it, we did McVenon's roster review, and Warrior was popping in and out, just being ridiculous. So you have to go back and watch to see what we're talking about. Bets Gaming for Warrior. Who do you think will be your first 3 to 5 Zetas on your alt, and why?
That's a lot of Zetas and a long ways away from now. I haven't even thought too much about it, but Emperor Palpatine lead will probably be my first dark side. He's like, for free to play, he'll be the best Zeta for the first year. So, I mean, hands down, Emperor Palpatine Zeta. On the light side, it will depend, but, a Bastila lead fallen, leadership will possibly happen for a Jedi team just because of that extra tenacity and durability and all of that with the protection. But I can't foresee a whole lot more. Obviously, Yoda's going to probably, he's going to get his unique. So once I have him unlocked, he's coming, and I don't even have a Jedi team ready yet. So, like I said, it's all of it's kind of far off. I'm not too concerned about it. In fact, Emperor Palpatine lead might very well make my very first. He's such an easy gear, and so is Darth Vader. That's 2 of 5 people, like just easy to get, really high, really easy. So, and his, lead makes the team so fast, and with, being in the arena, speed is so important that even if you don't have a speed advantage, plus you gotta remember, everybody starts out with like rebels, so it's the natural counter to rebels is to have Emperor Palpatine. In fact, what's funny is I have him at like gear 6 and everybody's at like gear 8 now in the arena. So he's really under geared, but I'm just, it's just too much to focus on. So I'm just trying to do my best. But I throw him in for climbing because they kill themselves. All the Phoenix teams they kill themselves because of his unique ability. They're taking like 12 to 14 damage every turn right now. Every time they take a turn. Plus he can put shock, which prevents all that regeneration and prevents all the taunting, so I can take out damage dealers. It's really funny. I'm using Emperor Palpatine with my Phoenix, and I hear people all the time say, he has no place with Phoenix. I'm like, good. Keep telling yourself that.
Nice.
Because it works well for me.
It was I who allowed Warrior to use me in arena. Question for T-Money. And for everyone from Epro's Ruin, who's gonna tune in for the Angels tonight? Hopefully everybody, right? Shameless.
I will definitely be tuning in.
Yeah, well, I would hope. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Helenick's last question for my favorite Canadian pirate. What neat weapons lore will we learn about on tonight? I think you already said that. Vibro blade.
It's going to be a vibro weapon, and all of the ladies are going to be saying a vibro weapon. Ha ha ha! Giggling.
Oh God. All right, so that's all the time we have for questions today for the Jedi Academy. This is where we pimp, so I'm going to pimp the 2 that are not here. I know Lady Dasher has her own channel, Jedi Master Dasher, that you can check out on YouTube, so make sure you check out her videos. Ramon is on the Alliance, and he has a stream, I know, good old Maurice, late Sunday, early morning time frame for me when it comes on, but you can check that out. He's got lots of videos on his channel for Ramon, and I think they've got some, the stream with the Alliance stream. Warrior, Scissorman Warrior, where can folks check you out?
So I'm on YouTube, of course. It's Warrior Presents and also Warriors Roster Reviews. I do a weekly free-to-play series called Scissorman, which just kind of goes weekly through my journey of restarting and trying to start all over. I'm also trying to put my money where my mouth is and actually do my 5-pillar free-to-play farming guide, but physically in person, actually doing it myself so I can showcase how it works and what decisions I'm making throughout the process, so people can kind of see, what was my mindset while doing it. So it's been a really fun series. I am doing other videos, as well on my main channel, but I'm trying to at this moment ramp up more videos. But I'm actually in the process of real life moving, and I have a very large family, so this is like a month-long process to like get out of this house and get into the new house. And we have to paint both houses and do work at both houses. And it's a mess. Basically, I'm going to be working. And then when I'm not working, I'm going to be painting or moving or packing or unpacking. So I don't know what the next month's going to look like content-wise, but I'm going to do my damnedest to continue to bring content at least 2 or 3 times a week at my very best for everybody, so they can continue to, follow Scissorman and also have videos on, other things that are going on in the game.
All right. And Team Money G. So much going on. What's going on?
Yeah, so I will say tonight the Angel stream is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Operation Metaverse channel. Shout out to Dana, who's doing the vibro weapons section and hosting, and Tits, who's doing the who's hosting as well. We've got so many ladies on there. Okay, and Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Good Maurice and I stream about the game. We have guests on there all the time. We're going to have a droid guest, a droid fanboy on there next Tuesday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we've recently released 2 videos. This is the first time we've done videos like this. It's kind of, they're speculation videos, but they're speculation with kind of like really outlining all of the facts that we have at hand, the history, the numbers from the past. So they're really popular. We've gotten about 5,000 views on one, 4,000 on the other, and we just released them yesterday, the day before. So that's that was more than I thought, on how to panic from the Emperor's ship, and our 2019 February Crystal Ball Farming Guide. So but go watch the Crystal Ball Farming Guide if you haven't, just the first 30 seconds, please, because there's just a little treat that I worked on there that I just really like the intro for. So have you guys seen it yet? Go see it.
Yes, go do that. All right, so if you're watching this, you're watching the Reality Skewed Gamers channel. We do this Jedi Academy, but with a bunch of other streams we do. I can't talk all of a sudden. We do during the week. Please make sure you check out all of our content, and make sure you check out all these guys' content. They take the time to be here to answer your questions, so please help support them in the community by visiting their channels, hitting the thumbs up on their videos, watching their content, subscribing if you can. If you really love their content, the great way to support them is to subscribe, not with just with us, but with them as well. And make sure you check out the Angel Stream tonight for the charity event. And if you'd like to donate or check it out, go to our Tiltify page and our ACS page. We have them linked down below, and you can check those out as well. And I'm sure we all have Patreon, so if you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor for us or one of these other lovely guests, then please do. All right, so on behalf of myself and the RC crew and our wonderful panel for the Jedi Council, this has been the Jedi Academy. We will holler at you later. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tonight. Peace out.